Dear student, how are you all? I think everyone are fine there. So student, let's begin with the part 2 of the lesson number 1, how the camel got his hump. So you can see here on the board. So here we have a supplementary reader, lesson number 1, how the camel got his hump. So it is a book number 2. From the lesson 1, how the camel got his hump, today we are going to begin with part 2. Which one? Part 2 of the first lesson. So let's student recall our previous class, what we have studied there about this lesson. Do you know there were creatures, creatures like horse, ox, dog and a camel and a human being who became a leader of these all creatures, and he made them to work for them. And it is a story of a desert. A desert is there and the leader of the desert is a man, but the main supervisor of the whole desert is a jinn. Jinn is a person where he comes out of the container and he will looking over throughout the desert how the peoples are working there. Is any mistake is happening by someone? So the complaint of the camel went to a man first, and the man said the camel is a ancestor of this desert, so no need to tell him or scold him unnecessary. But what about the other animals, other wild animals who are newly inducted in the man's activity, like plowing, saving, and doing an irrigation and agriculture work? So these kind of work they have to do, and these wild animals complained to the man, and man said no need to scold him because he is an ancestor. So it is an injustice, yes or no? With whom? With these wild animals. Then what happens? The horse never kept quiet, so he went to meet the jinn and he told him, there is a creature in this desert with long legs and a long neck, and he usually want to sit as it is, and he don't want to do any kind of work. So what wrong happened with him? We don't know. And while asking him, hey you camel, why you are not working and why you are spending your time in leisure? And he usually say hump. When the man also talked to him, he say hump. So why he is telling hump? Is he is making a joke of all of us? So I don't think so. So it should be taken care by you, our pardon, respected jinn. So they tell each and everything to the jinn. Then what happens? What the jinn do? Jinn moves to the camel and he talked to him. Hey you camel, what you are doing here? Why you are not doing your part of the work? Though your work is done by these wild animals and they have to spend more and more time and they are getting so tired. So why you are not behaving in such a proper manner according to the code of conduct? So why it is happening like this? So these questions were asked by the jinn to the camel, and the camel replied hump. Only hump, hump, hump. And the another wild animals like ox, dog and horse wants that this camel should speak our language. Horse needs that he should talk like me, and the dog needs that he should bark and hold the things inside the mouth, and the ox likes that he should cock like how I am taking the sound out from the neck. So why he is not doing like this? So these were many complaints on the camel, regarding to the work, regarding to the language, regarding to the resting in such a manner. So let's begin with the part 2, what we are going to begin here. So before that, I told you a homework, and I given you a homework of 4 questions, a comprehension check. So I think many of you have done this, but few of them send me they are in the WhatsApp. So what about the others? They should do it, yes or no? In the beginning of the class I told you it is a first. So here in my class each and everything should be completed properly and nothing should be kept behind, and so this should be taken care. So let's begin with the part 2. here comes, everyone comes here on the page number 4th. Okay, now I am reading here, so I need your index finger should be there under the sentence for a better understanding. Part 2. The jinn remonstrated with the camel, who said, "Hump." The camel's beautiful back suddenly grew a lump, which was the camel's hump. The jinn assured the camel his hump would always be a help, not a hindrance. So then what happens? Jinn went to meet the camel, and here in this part 2, jinn talks to the camel and the camel says hump, and if he says hump, then jinn brought a big size lump or a hump, like this kind of structure. Yes, like this kind of structure, okay, over the back of the camel, and that camel become a very proud of it after seeing this hump or a lump. Fine. So let's begin with the first paragraph. The jinn rolled himself up his dust cloak and took a walk across the desert, and found the camel looking at his own reflection in a pool of water. So with the help of the wind, with the help of the very fast moving breeze wind on the desert, he moved very fastly, and he found a camel who is standing beside to the pool. And he went there and he started observing that camel, what he is doing. Is he doing work or he is simply doing a rest? Then, "My friend," said the jinn, "what's this? I hear of your doing no work." So, "My friend, what is going here?" Who said? Jinn said. "What's this? I hear of your doing no work." So the jinn asked, "Hey you, my friend, you are a favorite of mine because you belongs to the ancestor family of this desert and you are one of my neighborhood. So what wrong happened to you? Why I am getting too much of complaints about you that you are not working here in this desert? What's wrong happened?" Here the jinn questioned. And what the camel replies? So the jinn sat down with his chin in his hand, while the camel looked at his own reflection in the pool of water. Though jinn is talking to him consistently, but this camel is not replying. So at last what he did, jinn taken his palm and he kept the two fingers of his palm under his chin, and he start observing that camel. But the camel is not responding. He is watching inside the water there. "You have given the 3 extra work ever since Monday morning, all on account of your idleness," said the jinn, and he went on thinking with his chin in his hand. So what the jinn says, "You have given 3 extra work in the beginning, in the day of first. Monday you will given and 3 extra work. Okay, all on account of your idleness," said the jinn, and he went on thinking with his chin in his hand. So the jinn says, "On the Monday morning I have given you 3 extra work. What about that work? Did you completed the work or not? Or you are simply spending your time in spare? So what's wrong with you?" But the camel is not answering anything. He is busy in watching his whole body structure, okay, on the pool. Then what he said finally? Who? Camel. Camel said, "Hump," said the camel. Camel said, "Hump," said the camel. Then, "I shouldn't say that again if I were you," said the jinn. "Hey you, again and again you are telling that hump, hump, hump. So I shouldn't say this kind of word or this kind of phrase, hump, if I am there in the place of you. If I am a camel, I don't used to say hump. Instead of saying hump and doing rest, I can do a work and I don't make angry another creatures. Okay. So you might say it once too often. I want you to work." So what he says, you are saying this hump, hump, hump regularly and it becoming so awkward, and it seems that you are making a joke of another wild animals. So I don't need this kind of word once again. So I need you to work hard in this desert. Then what happened to the camel? Let's see here. The 4th line of the page number 5. Read it out here. "And the camel said hump with an exclamatory mark." Which parts of speech is there? Exclamation, a surprising, okay, a sorrow, a sadness, amusement, a surprisement. These kind of phrases were used with an exclamation mark is called interjection, what we have discussed in the last class. Yes or no? Hump inside the inverted commas with an exclamation mark. Then what Camel replied to the Jinn? What he replied? Hump, inverted comma close with an exclamation mark. Okay, hump. What he said? Hump. Fine. He said again and again, that's your very own hump that you have brought upon your very own self by not working. Today is Thursday and you have done no work since Monday. When the work began, now you are going to work. See what happened. When the Jinn is asking a question again and again, then the Camel answered, hump, hump, hump. Then Jinn said, why he is telling hump, hump, hump again and again, and the Camel is watching there on the water, and the hump grows somewhere behind the back. And the Jinn said, you are telling hump and hump again and again, that's why a hump came back over your backbone. So this is a mistake of you are saying the hump, hump, hump and not doing anything kind of work. So it shouldn't happen next time. So you should take care about this. See, I given you a work on Monday. From the last 4 days, you didn't did any kind of work here. So you didn't practice any kind of work. So it shouldn't happen like this. So this is what a Jinn is telling to Camel. This is what a Jinn is telling to Camel here. Fine. Then the Camel says, okay, all right, just forgive me, my pardon. Now I will not disturb anyone and I will do my work. Okay, now I am too proud of my body structure and hump is there on my back. Here the Camel says, okay. Now the Camel's question, how can I do a work? I have a big legs, even a big neck, my body structure is so big, but how can I? Said the Camel. With this hump on my back, and even a hump is there on my back, how can I? With a question mark. He put one question over the Jinn. That has a purpose, said the Jinn. Though the hump is there on your back, might be it has something a purpose. That's why it is there, otherwise it wouldn't be there. So he used to say, all because you missed those 3 days. You will be able to work now for 3 days without eating, because you can live on your hump. And don't you ever say I never did anything for you. Come out of the desert and go to the tree and behave. Then what happens? Here a very good explanation told by the Jinn. Hey, you are asking a question now that I have a hump on my body. So by carrying this hump, how it is possible to work day and night here and there, carrying water, drinking water, and what kind of work can I do with my this body structure? But the Jinn answered a very logical answer to him. Hey, you are telling the hump is there on your back, it is a very useful for you. You can carry the food and water for another 3 days in that hump and you work without any tiredness. So it shouldn't happen like another creatures who have to eat and drink each and every day and they have to work. But once you eat, once you drink, you can work for another 3 days consistently. So this is a very good reason of your hump. Now the Camel gets surprised. Is it? This is the reason. So he tells to Jinn. And the last paragraph of the lesson, so it brings the morality here in this story. Let's read it out. And the Camel went away to join the tree. And here the Jinn instruct him. Now you got the explanation. Okay, you got the reason why a hump is there on your back and the hump is so useful for you. Now go and join those 3 creatures and help them and complete your work which you is pending from last 3 to 4 days. Fine. And the Camel went away to join the tree, and from that day to this the Camel always wears a hump. We call it hump now, not to hurt his feelings, but he has never yet caught up with the 3 days that he missed at the beginning of the world, and he has never yet learned how to behave. Then what happened here? Okay, in the conclusion of the poem, now the Camel got a hump on his back and he got the reason why the hump is there, and without hurting him or his body structure, we used to say hump. And The feeling what he had the first 3 days where he didn't got knew what is there on my back, and after the jinn told him it is a hump where you can carry water and food for the coming days and you can work perfectly. So this is what the moral of the story. See student, whatever it may be, whatever you have, it has a one reason for it. If you say it is a worthless, it is a not any use, so don't think like this. Each and everything which is there in your life, which is there with you, is so useful. So don't think each and everything is so useless or this is not a use of it. So don't think like that. Each and everything is so useful in your life, so you can take a better use of it and it is going to help you and it is going to benefit you. So this is the moral of the story, where the camel had a hump but he didn't know what it is. So why is there on my back? Because it have a good reason. Then when the camel knows that this carries water and food, then he start working day and night more than those 3 creatures which they are complaining about to the jinn about the camel, that he used to say hump hump, but he got what is a hump there on the back. So student, this is what here in the part 2, and here we got learn about the morality of the lesson. So it is written by the Rudyard Kipling. So who written this? Yes, it is written by Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling is a good writer, he is a good author, even composer. He knows many extract and many moral stories and the short stories, and he brings out a very moral character whatever he writes out. So it is written by a great writer, Rudyard Kipling. Okay, so here after the completion of the lesson we have some comprehension question. Just look over it. Some 4 questions are there. Yes, the camel was looking at this own reflection in the pool. What does it suggest to you about the camel? So the camel is looking there on inside the pool and he is watching out his own body structure, but he is having one confusion, why the hump is there on my back. When he got reason, then he became happy. So write your own words, write your own answer after finding out from the extract. Now comes to question number 2. The camel said hump repeatedly. How did it affect him? How did it affect him? Okay, this is what you have to find out from the extract. Okay, what according to the jinn was the use of the hump? What is the use of the hump according to the jinn? What explanation he given to the camel? This is what we have discussed. Okay, just memorize it, write your answer. Then comes the 4th one. He has never yet learned to behave. In the light of this, what is the writer's opinion about the camel? So he didn't learn to behave in a proper manner. Why? What is the reason behind it? Yes, animal used to behave according to their own sense, because they have their own different skills. They are not like such a mastermind like how we behave. So they have a different life. So any journal answer you can write here for this question number 4th after reading the extract here. So student, this is all about the part 2 of the story of the lesson. So here, okay, so here the back side on the page number 6, here we have an exercise question. Okay, all right, so this exercise question is not so important, so the comprehension checks are the important, so you have to write it for the writing purpose. And in the next video we are going to begin with the lesson number 2, children at work. Before that, I need the both comprehension check question in their own notebooks and send me back in the WhatsApp, where I am going to check it. And here on this lesson I am going to take a small test also, where you have to write the answers of each and every questions and send me back there. Alright students, this is all about the lesson number 1, how the camel got his hump, written by Rudyard Kipling, and it is a part 2 what we have discussed here. Okay. So watch this video thoroughly, understand the morality of the story of the lesson and by heart it. So student, this is what here. So for the time being, take care you and yourself, and wait for another video. Bye bye.